Bold and the Beautiful early spoilers January 26th to 30th. Ridge and Brooke race to unmask mystery designer. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for January 26th to 30th, 2026 expose Ridge Forrester, Torsten K., and Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, digging for information on the new Logan designer. As we always do on Early Edition Day, we start with what's coming the rest of this week, and then we're going to talk about next week. Bold and the Beautiful midweek spoilers, Taylor and Deacon's secret spark. On Wednesday, January 21st, we've got Lee Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda, and Sheila Carter, Kimberlyn Brown, picking up where their conversation left off on Tuesday after Deacon Sharp, Sean Cannon, leaned away from Sheila's intimate advances. That's when Hope Logan, Annika Noel, showed up after Sheila left and told her dad to go for it with Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig. I do wonder if Sheila is going to share her suspicions with Lee that another woman may have her eye on Deacon. Lee will likely sympathize after all the cheating that Jack Finnegan, Ted King, did, although, ironically, some of it was with Sheila. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Steffi begs Taylor. Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, again pleads with Taylor to please drop Deacon as a patient. She's going to pick back up with that conversation that we already heard on Tuesday. You know how Bold and the Beautiful likes to repeat dialogue over and over. Steffi continues to poke and prod her mom about cutting Deacon loose. But later, it looks like he shows up because also on Wednesday, Deacon and Taylor find it harder and harder to fight their feelings for each other. They may give in just a little. I'm expecting a kiss, though I'm not expecting them to jump straight to doing the naughty on the couch in her office at the hospital. Drama at the beach house. Daphne's sketchy move on Will Spencer. Plus, Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace, was supposed to be there for dinner, and Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, is grilling chicken. But then Electra had to work late. Of course, R.J. Forrester, Joshua Hoffman, is lurking around and keeping a close eye on her. It looks like Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire, might score a winner-winner chicken dinner with Will while his girlfriend is stuck late at the office. Also at the beach house this week. And this may be what happens when Electra is working late. We know Daphne is going to tell Will that she wants to repay his kindness for letting her stay there however she can. She implies that there might be something else on offer besides a rent payment. This is very sketchy, but also vague enough where she can play it off and deny that it meant what it sounded like. The high-stakes cover-up, protecting Taylor from Sheila Carter. On Thursday, January 22nd, we've got things continuing to intensify between Deacon and Taylor. Meanwhile, everybody who knows about this blossoming potential romance is very worried and trying to keep Sheila from finding out about it. In that group of people are Steffi, Hope, Deacon, and Finn Tanner-Novlin. I'm sure that array is going to broaden. All of them are going to scramble to keep the Deacon and Taylor secret from Sheila so she doesn't go do something terrible. Electra tells Will that she's got some concerns about Daphne on Thursday. It looks like Electra suspects that Will may have another woman checking him out. I don't think at this point Electra is getting full stalker Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada, vibes off Daphne, but I do think she's concerned. I suspect Electra may show up in time to overhear Daphne's provocative offer of repayment in non-monetary terms. Friday showdowns. Electra confronts Daphne and Finn dodges Sheila. On Friday, January 23rd, it looks like Electra is on top of it because she corners Daphne with some hard questions. However, the ex-art teacher assures Electra that she's not crossing any lines with Will. That just sounds like straight-up gaslighting that she got from the school of Luna Crazy. I still think there's something there we don't know about between Daphne and Luna. I also think it's pure lip service because Daphne seems increasingly into Will. She's already been checking him out when he comes up in his swimsuit to use the outdoor shower. I realize the shower's outdoors, but you shouldn't be sitting around watching your friend's boyfriend shower, right? Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Sheila corners Finn. Also on Friday, Finn tries to dodge his terrible mom, Sheila, when he goes over to Il Giardino. Of course, his and Steffi's kids love the pizza that Deacon serves. But Sheila won't let Finn get away without a chat and starts blathering about how Taylor fixed her marriage. Of course, Finn knows that Taylor and Deacon are into each other, so he doesn't want anything to do with this conversation. Finn is going to run back to Steffi to report everything Sheila says, especially if she mentions having concerns about Deacon seeming distracted. Anything that could put her on the path to finding out about Taylor is what Steffi is terrified of. February sweeps preview. Ridge and Brooke investigate the Logan designer. For the week of January 26th through the 30th, February sweeps kick off on Thursday, January 29th. It runs through February 25th, so all the storylines are going to be picking up momentum. Ridge and Brooke want to know who Katie Logan, Heather Tom, hired as lead designer, and Donna Logan's Jennifer Garais going to be stuck having to lie. She won't like it when Brooke grills her. When Katie first mentioned hiring a lead designer, Brooke was already asking, "Who is it? Tell me." When she reports back to Ridge that Katie's made this hire, they're going to be insatiably curious. They might start reaching out to find out who applied for the job to figure it out for themselves. I don't think they feel threatened yet, but that'll come later. Bill Spencer's victory. A Forrester designer joins the Logans. Bill Spencer, Don Diamant, is proud that Katie landed Eric Forrester, John McCook, as her lead designer. So, Bill is going to be so excited to embarrass Ridge with Logan's success and the fact that his Forrester dad is on board with the Spencers. What's ironic is that, strictly by biology, Logan is the firm with a Forrester lead designer. As RJ himself brought up the other day, he, Ridge, Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson, and Steffi are all Maroons. So the Forrester designer is a Logan, while everybody else over at Forrester are Maroons. This is especially true since Zen Forrester Dominguez, Delon de Metz, has now moved from contract to recurring status. Bill's going to want to rub the Eric thing in Ridge's face, but he's going to have to wait because Katie and Eric are going to continue keeping it secret for now. Bold and the Beautiful. Rivalries heat up. Will and RJ face off over Elektra. Will is going to be on fire about RJ hitting on Elektra, which is happening already. I'm sure RJ is going to take the opportunity to lurk around her at work. Although Will and RJ had a tentative agreement to get along better than their dads do, that's not going to last because 2026 spoilers say they are rivals soon. Steffi is more and more concerned about the threat Taylor faces because of this crush she and Deacon have on each other. Hope and Lee both agree that Sheila's an issue, but more so, they want her out of Deacon's life and they want Taylor in it if that's what'll get Sheila out the door. I think they're being a little more cavalier with the risk. The Logan expansion, recruitment, and corporate secrets. Taylor and Deacon
Elektra
continues
is
on
heat
high
up.
alert, and she is watching Daphne very closely. That girl is giving off some creeper, Luna-esque vibes. We should see Lee getting an official offer to come to Logan soon. I'm sure she'd be floored to find out that Katie landed Eric by bringing Lee on board. She's going to have to keep the secret as well. Bill and Katie may also try to persuade Will to leave Forrester and join Logan, but he's not going to do that because RJ's sniffing around Elektra and being problematic. The legal battle for fashion. Does Forrester own Eric's designs? We're going to have to wait and see if Eric brings in that whole collection that he's already designed. I did see some chatter on some soap social media about whether Forrester owns those designs Eric made. I did a little research and the answer is no. First of all, he doesn't have a non-compete clause. He doesn't even have a Forrester employment contract. Because he's the co-founder and one-third owner. He and Stephanie Forrester, Susan Flannery, together owned 75%. He designed them at home. And he wasn't using Forrester materials or sitting on Forrester property. It was not assigned or requested work. The designs were not accepted, produced, or even viewed officially at the company. Steffi caught a glimpse of them, but Ridge refused to look at anything and pushed his dad out. Once Eric is no longer an employee, which happened because of Ridge, any claim that Forrester might have on those is very weak, especially since they were never formally submitted. The central drama currently gripping CBS audiences involves the mystery designer at Katie Logan's newly launched fashion house, Logan. While Brooke and Ridge have been racing to unmask this shadowy figure, the reveal has brought a bittersweet, almost heartbreaking realization for the Forrester patriarch's namesake. Today's sad news, the betrayal that cut deep. The sad news circulating among the fandom isn't about a death, though the recent tragic exit of Luna Nozawa, played by Emmy winner Lisa Yamada, still casts a long shadow, but rather the death of family loyalty. For weeks, Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan have been dismissive of Katie's new venture. They assumed Katie was simply poaching the Logan name to spite them after a trademark lapse. However, the mood shifted from annoyance to genuine grief when the truth began to surface. Eric Forrester, the heart and soul of Forrester Creations, is the man behind the curtain. Why it's heartbreaking. Forced retirement. Eric feels he was pushed out of his own company by Ridge and Brooke. A father versus son war. This isn't just business. It's Eric proving he still has it by competing directly against his own son's couture line. The Logan rift. Brooke feels personally betrayed by her sister Katie and her husband's father, creating a house divided that may never be repaired. The race to unmask the mystery designer. In recent episodes, Ridge and Brooke's suspicion reached a fever pitch. Ridge, ever the arrogant dressmaker, couldn't believe that Katie could produce sketches of such high caliber without a world-class talent. The investigation. Ridge and Brooke began digging for dirt, essentially acting as corporate spies within their own family circle. The trademark trap. They attempted to use legal maneuvers to stop Katie from using the Logan name, only to find out that Bill Spencer and Liam Spencer had already secured the rights. The stakeout. Brooke's visits to the Logan mansion weren't just for sisterly love. She was scanning for sketches, fabric swatches, and any clue of who Katie was hiding in the back room. The confrontation, the race, ended in a chilling moment where Brooke walked into Katie's office and came face to face with Eric. The look of icy glare from Brooke and the defiant stance of Eric confirmed the worst. The Forrester legend has defected. A new era, the R.J. Forrester recast. Adding to the sad news for some longtime fans is the official transition of R.J. Forrester. While many loved Joshua Hoffman's portrayal, Brian Nicoletti has now fully stepped into the role. The new R.J. finds himself caught in a tragic middle ground. He is the son of both a Forrester and a Logan, making this civil war particularly painful for him. While Ridge wants R.J. to be the future of Forrester couture, R.J. is struggling with the fact that his grandfather, Eric, is being treated like an enemy. Character current allegiance motivation Ridge, Forrester Creations protecting the family throne and his own ego. Eric Forrester Logan designs proving his relevance and punishing Ridge for retiring him. Brooke Logan Forrester Creations loyalty to Ridge. Despite the rift it causes with her sisters, Katie Logan designs independence and building a legacy outside of Brooke's shadow. What happens next? The fallout of this unmasking is set to dominate the February sweeps. We're looking at a double death twist rumor, not necessarily physical deaths, but the permanent death of the relationship between Ridge and Eric. Upcoming spoilers to watch. The runway showdown. Katie and Eric are planning a surprise debut that could bankrupt Forrester's upcoming season. Steffi's panic. Steffi Forrester is reportedly freaking out as Bill Spencer begins a global PR campaign to tarnish the Forrester name in favor of Logan. The RJ/Will rivalry. The tension between the parents is trickling down to the sons, with RJ and Will Spencer heading toward a corporate and romantic collision over newcomers like Elektra. The central drama currently gripping CBS audiences involves the mystery designer at Katie Logan's newly launched fashion house, Logan. While Brooke and Ridge have been racing to unmask this shadowy figure, the reveal has brought a bittersweet, almost heartbreaking realization for the Forrester patriarch's namesake. Today's sad news, the betrayal that cut deep. The sad news circulating among the fandom isn't about a death, though the recent tragic exit of Luna Nozawa, played by Emmy winner Lisa Yamada, still casts a long shadow, but rather the death of family loyalty. For weeks, Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan have been dismissive of Katie's new venture. They assumed Katie was simply poaching the Logan name to spite them after a trademark lapse. However, the mood shifted from annoyance to genuine grief when the truth began to surface. Eric Forrester, the heart and soul of Forrester Creations, is the man behind the curtain. Why it's heartbreaking. Forced retirement. Eric feels he was pushed out of his own company by Ridge and Brooke. A father versus son war. This isn't just business. It's Eric proving he still has it by competing directly against his own son's couture line. The Logan rift. Brooke feels personally betrayed by her sister Katie and her husband's father, creating a house divided that may never be repaired. The race to unmask the mystery designer. In recent episodes, Ridge and Brooke's suspicion reached a fever pitch. Ridge, ever the arrogant dressmaker, couldn't believe that Katie could produce sketches of such high caliber without a world-class talent. The investigation. Ridge and Brooke began digging for dirt, essentially acting as corporate spies within their own family circle. The trademark trap. They attempted to use legal maneuvers to stop Katie from using the Logan name, only to find out that Bill Spencer and Liam Spencer had already secured the rights. The stakeout. Brooke's visits to the Logan mansion weren't just for sisterly love. She was scanning for sketches, fabric swatches, and any clue of who Katie was hiding in the background. And the beautiful early news comes with a heavy heart, as a shocking new storyline threatens to unravel long-standing bonds, reopen old wounds, and expose secrets that were never meant to see the light of day. What begins as a professional mystery inside the walls of Forrester Creations quickly spirals into an emotional race against time, one that puts Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan on a collision course with a truth that could permanently alter their fragile peace. At the center of this very sad development is a mystery designer, an unseen force whose work has quietly infiltrated Forrester Creations, stunning buyers, confusing executives, and setting off alarm bells for Ridge. As sketches appear, fabrics are sourced, and designs surface without a clear origin, it becomes painfully clear that someone is operating in the shadows. And whoever it is, they're not just talented, they're personal. A creative triumph or a silent threat. The trouble begins when a new line, bold, emotionally charged, unmistakably Forrester level, starts turning heads. The designs are raw yet refined, modern yet rooted in the company's DNA. Buyers love it, interns whisper about it, executives praise it, but Ridge doesn't celebrate. Instead, he feels something else, unease. There's a familiarity to the designs that gnaws at him. The lines echo past collections. The tailoring feels like a ghost from his own creative history. For Ridge, fashion isn't just business, it's identity. And these designs feel like they're stealing his voice. Worse still, no one can say exactly where they came from. No signature, no pitch meeting, no approval trail, just brilliance and silence. Ridge Forrester's growing panic. Ridge is no stranger to rivalry, but this is different. This isn't about Eric. It isn't about a Logan versus Forrester power struggle. This feels invasive, personal. He demands answers, combs through records, and pressures the design team. But every door he opens leads to another dead end. Someone is covering their tracks and doing it expertly. That's when Ridge starts to fear the unthinkable. What if this designer knows him? What if this is someone from his past? As Ridge's frustration mounts, so does his emotional volatility. He lashes out at staff, questions leadership decisions, and grows increasingly isolated. For a man who once ruled Forrester Creations with confidence, this loss of control is devastating, and watching him unravel is heartbreaking. Brooke steps in, but not without pain. Sensing Ridge's distress, Brooke Logan steps in, not just as a business partner, but as someone who has loved this man through decades of chaos, passion, and heartbreak. Brooke recognizes the signs immediately. Ridge isn't just threatened creatively, he's afraid. Brooke urges calm, but she also pushes for transparency. If someone is hiding inside the system, they need to be exposed. For Brooke, secrets have always been the most dangerous enemy. She's lived the cost of deception too many times to ignore it now. Yet even as she joins Ridge in the search, Brooke can't shake a sinking feeling in her chest. What if the truth hurts more than the mystery? A race against time and each other. As early spoilers tease, Ridge and Brooke begin racing to uncover the identity of the mystery designer. But not always together. Ridge follows instinct. He studies the cuts, the seams, the emotional intent behind each piece. He becomes obsessed, pulling all-nighters, reliving old sketches, comparing styles from decades ago. Brooke, on the other hand, follows people. She listens. She watches. She notices who's nervous and who's too calm. And what Brooke starts to suspect breaks her heart. Because the deeper they dig, the more it feels like this isn't a stranger at all. It's someone with a grudge, a history or a claim. Someone who believes Forrester Creations owes them something. Old wounds reopen. This storyline doesn't just introduce a mystery, it reopens emotional scars that never truly healed. Ridge begins questioning past decisions, designers he pushed aside, family members he underestimated, talents he dismissed. Regret creeps in, and with it guilt. Brooke, meanwhile, starts to wonder if this mystery is tied to choices she made. Her long, complicated history with the Forrester family is filled with alliances, betrayals, and unintended consequences. If someone is striking back, could Brooke be part of the reason? That fear hangs heavy between them. Instead of uniting Ridge and Brooke, the mystery begins to pull them apart. Trust starts to crumble. As pressure mounts, Ridge becomes defensive. He starts withholding information, convinced he needs to protect himself and the Forrester legacy at all costs. Brooke notices. She confronts him, asking why he's shutting her out. Ridge insists he's just being cautious, but his tone betrays deeper fear. Brooke reminds him that secrets destroy marriages, families, and companies. The irony is painful. They've survived affairs, betrayals, and countless heartbreaks, but now a faceless designer threatens to undo them in a quieter, crueler way. Through doubt, the mystery designer's hidden message. Early spoilers suggest the designs themselves may contain clues, intentional ones, subtle details, repeated symbols, fabric choices that reference specific moments in Forrester history. This isn't random. It's a message, and whoever is sending it wants Ridge, and possibly Brooke, to feel exposed. That realization hits like a punch to the chest. This isn't about fame. It's about recognition, and maybe revenge. A truth that could change everything. As Ridge and Brooke close in, the emotional stakes skyrocket, because the closer they get, the more devastating the truth appears to be. If the mystery designer is a wronged former employee, a secret family member, or someone pushed out and forgotten, then Forrester Creations isn't just facing a creative crisis, it's facing a moral reckoning. And Ridge may have to confront the possibility that his own actions created this storm. For Brooke, the pain comes from watching the man she loves struggle with consequences he never expected to face. Why this storyline feels so sad. What makes this bold and the beautiful early news especially heartbreaking is its realism. It's not about explosions or public scandals, at least not yet. It's about fear of being replaced, guilt over past mistakes, love strained by secrecy, and the haunting idea that talent, once ignored, doesn't disappear, it waits. Ridge and Brooke aren't just chasing a name. They're chasing closure. And sometimes, closure comes at a devastating price. What happens next? As today's very sad early spoilers hint, the reveal is coming, and when it does, nothing will be the same. Will Ridge accept the truth? Will Brooke forgive what's uncovered? And will the mystery designer step into the light or strike one final blow from the shadows? One thing is certain. Forrester Creations is on the brink of an emotional earthquake. What makes this bold and the beautiful early news especially heartbreaking is its realism. It's not about explosions or public scandals, at least not yet. It's about fear of being replaced, guilt over past mistakes, love strained by secrecy, And the haunting idea that talent, once ignored, doesn't disappear, it waits. Ridge and Brooke aren't just chasing a name. They're chasing closure. And sometimes, closure comes at a devastating price. What happens next? As today's very sad early spoilers hint, the reveal is coming, and when it does, nothing will be the same. Will Ridge accept the truth? Will Brooke forgive what's uncovered? And the beautiful mid-episode delivers one of the most emotionally devastating twists fans have seen in a long time. What began as quiet tension and uneasy glances has now ignited into something far more dangerous. A secret spark between Taylor Hayes and Deacon Sharp. And the fallout is shaping up to be heartbreaking, explosive, and irreversible. This isn't a love story meant to inspire hope. This is a slow-burn tragedy, one built on buried pain, unresolved guilt, and choices that could destroy families that have already been pushed to the brink. A spark that never should have existed. From the outside, Taylor Hayes and Deacon Sharp have always stood on opposite moral ground. Taylor, the respected psychiatrist, the moral compass, the woman who has dedicated her life to healing others. Deacon, the reformed sinner, forever haunted by his past mistakes, struggling to prove he's more than the man everyone remembers. And yet, today's mid-episode confirms what many fans feared but never wanted to believe. There is something undeniable between them. It didn't explode in a kiss. It didn't begin with passion. Instead, it unfolded in the quietest, saddest way possible, in shared vulnerability. Two broken people, one secret moment, and a spark that refuses to die. Pain recognizes pain. What makes this revelation so devastating is why it happened. Taylor is emotionally exhausted. Years of emotional whiplash, fractured relationships, and living in the shadow of Brooke Logan have taken their toll. She has tried to be strong. She has tried to rise above. But today's episode shows that Taylor is tired of pretending she's unbreakable. Deacon, meanwhile, has been fighting his own war. No matter how hard he tries to change, the world keeps reminding him of who he used to be. Redemption feels forever out of reach, and loneliness clings to him like a curse. When Taylor and Deacon crossed paths today, it wasn't chemistry at first. It was recognition. They saw each other's wounds. They understood each other's regret. And in that understanding, something dangerous took root. The look that said everything. Fans watching today's episode didn't need dialogue to know what was happening. It was in the silence. The way Taylor hesitated before speaking. The way Deacon looked at her, not with desire but with respect. The way neither of them stepped back when the moment lingered too long. This wasn't lust. This was emotional intimacy, the most dangerous kind. And when Taylor finally broke the silence, her voice trembled. That was the moment viewers knew. This secret spark is real. Why this changes everything. This isn't just another forbidden connection in Los Angeles. This spark threatens to shatter multiple lives at once. Brooke Logan, the woman forever caught between Taylor and chaos, would be devastated. Not just because of Deacon's involvement, but because this would feel like yet another betrayal from someone she's always clashed with. Ridge Forrester, already torn apart by divided loyalties, would be forced to confront a truth he never imagined. Taylor, the woman he's always viewed as morally superior, crossing an unthinkable line. Hope Logan, Deacon's daughter, could be crushed by the realization that her father's complicated history is entangling itself with a woman tied so deeply to her family's pain. And perhaps most tragically, Taylor herself stands to lose the very identity she's fought so hard to protect. Taylor's silent breakdown. The most heartbreaking part of today's episode comes after Deacon leaves. Taylor is alone. The door closes, and the weight of what just happened finally hits her. She doesn't cry right away. She stares into space. Her breathing grows shallow. Her hands shake. This is a woman who knows she's crossed an emotional line, even if nothing physical has happened yet. Taylor whispers to herself, barely audible, as if saying it out loud might make it real. This can't happen. But the sadness in her eyes tells another story. Deacon knows the cost. Deacon doesn't walk away unscathed either. Outside, he pauses, guilt washing over his face. For once, he isn't thinking about survival or redemption. He's thinking about damage. He knows what this spark could do. He knows he's the wrong man. He knows history will never forgive him. And yet, for the first time in a long time, he felt seen. That realization may be what ultimately destroys him. A secret that won't stay buried. On the bold and the beautiful, secrets have a way of surfacing at the worst possible moment. This spark may be hidden now, but it's only a matter of time before someone notices. A lingering glance, a moment of tension, a conversation overheard. When the truth comes out, and it won't just hurt. It will explode. Why fans are heartbroken. Social media reactions are already pouring in, and the mood is unmistakably somber. Fans aren't angry. They aren't cheering. They're grieving. Grieving the loss of who Taylor believed herself to be. Grieving the fragile peace that had finally settled. Grieving the inevitability of another emotional war. Many viewers are calling this storyline quietly devastating, not because of scandal, but because of how real it feels. Sometimes the saddest betrayals don't come from malice. They come from weakness. What happens next? Today's mid-episode doesn't give us answers, only dread. Will Taylor pull away before it's too late? Will Deacon sacrifice his own happiness to protect her? Or will this spark grow into something neither of them can control? One thing is certain. This secret will cost someone everything. Final thoughts. A tragedy in slow motion. Today's bold and the beautiful mid-episode wasn't loud. It wasn't flashy. It was devastating in the quietest way possible. Taylor and Deacon's secret spark isn't about romance. It's about loneliness, regret, and two people standing at the edge of a choice they may not survive. And as viewers, we're left with a heavy truth. Sometimes the most heartbreaking stories aren't about villains and heroes. They're about good people making the wrong decision at the worst possible time. Today's bold and the beautiful mid-episode delivers one of the most emotionally devastating twists fans have seen in a long time. What began as quiet tension and uneasy glances has now ignited into something far more dangerous. A secret spark between Taylor Hayes and Deacon Sharp. And the fallout is shaping up to be heartbreaking, explosive, and irreversible. This isn't a love story meant to inspire hope. This is a slow-burn tragedy, one built on buried pain, unresolved guilt, and choices that could destroy families that have already been pushed to the brink. A spark that never should have existed. From the outside, Taylor Hayes and Deacon Sharp have always stood on opposite moral ground. Taylor, the respected psychiatrist, the moral compass, the woman who has dedicated her life to healing others. Deacon, the reformed sinner, forever haunted by his past mistakes, struggling to prove he's more than the man everyone remembers. And yet, today's mid-episode confirms what many fans feared but never wanted to believe. There is something undeniable between them. It didn't explode in a kiss. It didn't begin with passion. Instead, it unfolded in the quietest, saddest way possible. In shared vulnerability. Two broken people. One secret moment. And a spark that refuses to die. Pain recognizes pain. What makes this revelation so devastating is why it happened. Taylor is emotionally exhausted. Years of emotional whiplash, fractured relationships.